So I'm officially selling my 2021 Commencal Clash Essential model, but I assure you guys, it's never been raced. It's never been crashed. Woo! Sorry, bike. And it is in pristine condition. It's as if it's never been ridden. Don't mind the scratches. What's up, guys? As you probably expected, I am indeed selling my Clash because I got my new torque. But before we get to the reasoning behind that, I want to highlight some of the amazing things that I've really truly enjoyed about this bike and the journey that we've had with it. One of the best things about bikes like this is that they are super confidence inspiring. This is the slackest bike I've owned, at least before I got my torque. Now the torque beats it with a 63.5. Additionally, I raced this bike in EWS 100 Val di Fassa, and I was the most confident I have ever been. And that was on some of the hardest terrain I've ever ridden. I was out there with pros and I felt like I was in the zone, feeling good, and I was really happy with my race results. In addition to that, I've learned so much with my Clash, especially when it comes to mulleting a bike. As you know, I started off with my RockShox Zeb, and then I switched over to my Marzocchi Bomber Z1 coil fork. Both of those were mullet setups with the 29 up front and 27.5 in the rear, because as a reminder from the factory, this is 27.5 front and rear. And finally, what I love about this bike is that the essential build spec comes with Shimano SLX components. So this is my first time with the 12-speed drivetrain, which has performed flawlessly, and I'm definitely a fan, as well as my first time using Shimano 4-piston brakes. If you remember, I hated the 2-piston brakes because the modulation was non-existent, and I was a big fan of SRAM and the code RSCs because I thought that they were superior at the time. But that has since changed, and now Shimano and their 4-piston brakes, I'm all about it. The lever actuation is so easy and you get some serious stopping power out of them. So now the reason why I'm selling my Clash, and actually it's not just the Clash, but kind of some beef that I have with Commencal in general. For me and my issue with Commencal, it all comes down to sizing. And that's typically not something I experience at my height. I'm 193 centimeters, which is about 6'3.5", and I always ride extra large, always, except with Commencal. And I know this is an issue that Commencal has recognized themselves and they're starting to fix, but both the Clash and the Meta Am, the sizing is insane. These bikes are huge, and because of that, I'm actually on a large right now, which has a reach of 490 millimeters, which is really long compared to most larges. The bike, to me, it just feels imbalanced, and I couldn't imagine if I got an extra large with a 520 reach, it would be even worse. The front end just keeps getting longer and longer, while the rear end stays super short because they don't adjust their chainstay size for the front triangle length as they increase through the sizing spectrum. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some things I really like about the short chainstay. For instance, when I'm riding flow trail at the bike park and hitting jumps, it makes it really easy to do some sick whips. In addition to that, when I'm racing enduro and I'm on trails that I'm unfamiliar with and trying to go all out, it's really nice, especially with these Euro switchbacks here. When I come up with the wrong line through a corner, I can quickly turn in and that chainstay just whips me right around. So I've really thoroughly enjoyed that. But there's also some times where the bike just feels really uneasy and kind of unsettled. And I think a big part of that is because it's so imbalanced. Up front, it's so long, and then in the rear, it's super short, and it feels like all my weight is just over the rear wheel. Like I can't get far enough forward. Even when I lean into it, I just feel like I'm so far back on the other end of the bike. With my torque, I was really hoping to find a more balanced ride, and the geometry numbers on the torque fit that perfectly. With my torque, I've gotten it on trail once for just a quick 2-minute descent, and I could already tell that it felt way more balanced and I felt way more centered on the bike. I'm really excited to get more experience on trail with it, and stay tuned for future videos if you want to see more about riding the torque. And to my Commencal fans, please don't feel like I'm giving up on Commencal, because I'm not, especially for the long term. I can see that Commencal recognized the issue with their sizing and they're already correcting it. The new Meta SX looks amazing on paper, and I would absolutely love to toss a leg over it because the sizing looks right. They decrease the reach and they increase the chainstay, and it's a mullet, and I'm all about it. It looks amazing. However, if you saw my torque video, you saw the torque is also awesome on paper, and it simply is a way better value than what you can get with Commencal right now. So I had to go with Canyon. Also, for the Commencal fans, don't think that you're done seeing seeing the Clash yet, because there's still going to be more Clash sightings in the future. I've got a huge backlog of videos that I really need to start getting out there for you guys, and the Clash will be making plenty of appearances in those. Even after it goes off to a new home, you'll still see the Clash pop up from time to time because I've got a lot more content for you guys. Anyways, I hope that you all have found this video informative and that maybe you can use some of this info for the next time that you're in the market for a new bike. With that being said, that's it for today. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tell me where to ride next. With these short chainstays in mind that Commencal uses,